Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something that is genuinely changing the game for how we build modern AI. We are looking at a fascinating new research paper called AgentScope 1.0, a developer-centric framework for building agentic applications. Now, if you're following the bleeding edge of artificial intelligence, you know we're moving incredibly fast beyond those simple chat interfaces. We're officially entering the era of agents. But as any developer will tell you, building these systems so they actually work reliably, yeah, it's incredibly complex. It's a bit like trying to herd cats, and that is exactly where AgentScope steps in. It's positioning itself as the ultimate toolkit, the absolute foundational infrastructure you need to bring these complex AI systems to life. Okay, let's dive into this. How do we actually build better AI agents? I mean, this is arguably the most critical question in software development right now. We've got these incredibly powerful large language models, right? But wrangling them to perform reliable, multi-step actions out there in the messy real world, well, it's a massive engineering hurdle. You've got developers dealing with unpredictable outputs, super complex tool integrations, and the absolute nightmare of making multiple AI models talk to each other without the whole system just crashing down. This core problem is exactly what the creators of AgentScope set out to fix. So here's our logical, step-by-step roadmap for today's explainer. First up, we'll cover the rise of agents. Second, introducing AgentScope 1.0. Third, we'll dive into the architecture and paradigms. And finally, developer tools and deployment. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. The Rise of Agents, Evolving Beyond Text.
Right, so the authors of the paper kick things off by defining exactly what it is we're trying to build here. They describe agentic applications as systems where large language models combine intrinsic knowledge with dynamic tool use to address real-world tasks. This is absolutely crucial to understand. We aren't just asking an AI a question and getting a block of text back anymore. Actually, scratch that. It's more like we are taking all of that deep intrinsic AI knowledge and we're empowering the model to dynamically use tools. It's searching a database, calculating a budget, and then drafting an email to your client, all in one continuous flow. That specific combination, knowledge plus dynamic tool use, is what makes modern AI truly capable. But it also creates a giant headache for the developers who have to wire the whole shebang together. And that leads us to Section 2, introducing AgentScope 1.0, a developer-centric framework. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how AgentScope actually approaches this whole problem. It doesn't trap you in a rigid box. Instead, it operates as a totally flexible infrastructure toolkit, breaking things down into 3 strategic steps. Step 1, it abstracts the foundational components. Basically, it hides all that messy, complicated background code and just hands you clean, usable building blocks. Step 2, it provides unified interfaces. So whether you're connecting to a tiny local model or some massive cloud API, the way your code talks to it stays exactly the same. And step 3, it utilizes extensible modules. Look, the AI landscape literally changes every single day. AgentScope is purposely built so that developers can just snap in the latest updates, brand new models or new machine control protocols, without having to completely rewrite their entire application from scratch. It's a real game changer. Moving right along to Section 3, Architecture and Paradigms, Under the Hood. So we are peeling back the curtain here to see how this thing actually ticks. The paper highlights 2 major technical pillars. First, AgentScope is totally grounded in the React paradigm. Now, if you aren't familiar, React just stands for reasoning and acting. It means the framework is explicitly structured to force the AI to think, to actually generate a reasoning trace before it makes a move. It creates this logical loop of observing, thinking, and acting. But here's the catch. Reasoning takes time, which leads us to the second pillar, systematic asynchronous design. Rather than the whole system just freezing up and waiting every time an agent needs to think or act, this asynchronous design lets multiple processes run concurrently in the background. The paper heavily emphasizes that this massively improves the overall execution efficiency. And because of that super efficient asynchronous architecture, AgentScope can seamlessly juggle 2 very distinct interaction patterns at the exact same time. On one side, you've got human-agent interactions. This is your classic setup where a human user is kept in the loop, maybe guiding or collaborating directly with the AI. But on the flip side, you have agent-agent interactions. This is where multiple AI agents, usually with different specific specialties, are actually talking and collaborating with each other autonomously to solve a much larger puzzle. AgentScope's advanced agent-level infrastructure is designed to manage the heavy traffic of both these patterns without breaking a sweat. Also, the researchers completely understood that starting a massive system like this from absolute scratch can be, well, completely daunting for developers. So they included these tailored, built-in agents right out of the box for practical, everyday scenarios. As a developer, you don't have to stare at a blank screen anymore. You get these ready-made, highly optimized templates that you can either instantly deploy or just tweak for your specific needs. It is a massive accelerator for your daily workflow.
All right, final stretch. Section 4, Developer Tools and Deployment, from Sandbox to Production. And this brilliantly illustrates why developers should really care about this paper. AgentScope isn't just about building the cool AI agent. It provides the robust, heavy-duty engineering support you need to actually take it to production. First off, they give you a scalable evaluation module. You need to know if your AI is actually getting better, right? This lets you test it at serious scale. Second, and honestly, this is huge, there is a Visual Studio interface. The paper points out that this makes tracing long-trajectory agentic applications so much easier. If your agent has to take 50 complex steps to solve a problem, you absolutely need to visually see exactly where it succeeded or where it went off the rails. Third, they offer a runtime sandbox for safety. Basically, this guarantees your AI won't accidentally, delete your entire production database while it's still learning how to use its tools. And finally, rapid deployment facilitation. Once everything runs perfectly in the sandbox, AgentScope makes it totally painless to push it live into a real production environment. Which perfectly tees up this concluding sentence straight from the researcher's abstract. AgentScope provides a practical foundation for building scalable, adaptive, and effective agentic applications. I want to repeat those 3 core benefits really quickly because they are the ultimate takeaway for anyone building software right now. Scalable, meaning this framework grows right alongside your needs. Adaptive, meaning it easily integrates new models and tools the minute they drop. And effective, meaning it's actually engineered from the ground up to get real-world tasks done efficiently. So, the tools to build the absolute next generation of software are right here. And honestly, they're more accessible than ever before. All the abstraction, the neat visual tracing, the asynchronous efficiency, it is all purposely designed to just get out of the developer's way. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. With a framework this ridiculously robust right at your fingertips, what kind of agentic application are you going to build first? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep building.